I'm gonna name this video The Source. Now, my family works as an assembly line. One person might have the iPhone, then it gets passed down. That's just how we move. I'm gonna get my money's worth from the electronic. But my son, my youngest son, he had the iPad mini. And he's a straight A student. He deserves and everything. But I gave him my iPad, and it was a newer version iPad. So I give it to him and I tell him, you better take care of this. So the next day, he says, I need a new USB cord. I said, you just got it. Like, what in the world is going on? Well, I don't know because, it's taking so long to charge. I said, okay, cool. So I order on Amazon 3 USB cords. So I give it to him. 2 days later, 3 days later, he tells me, Dad, I need another cord. Something's wrong with the cord. So now I'm getting upset. Hey, listen, what are you doing? What is it that you're doing that these cords keep getting messed up? So now we're on the third one. So then he tells me, Dad, this cord is messing up. So now I'm angered. So I come to him, I said, what you mean? What is going on? He said, every time I plug it up at night, when I wake up, it's still only at like 50%. So I'm, upset because I'm like, what is it that you're doing? I said, let me take a look at it. But what I failed to realize was it wasn't the USB cords. It was the power source. See, the Cube was a lower wattage for that other iPad. So although it still was giving it power, it was taking longer because the wattage was lower. Now that's a whole message, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. What are you plugged into? What is your source? A lot of times when we're going through something in life, we like to take the avenue of God isn't hearing our prayers. Some people like to blame the economy. Some people like to blame, their boss just doesn't like them. There's always the blame has to go somewhere. But in reality, it's what is your source? You see, the Cube still worked. It just didn't have the necessary voltage to power the newer iPad in a timely fashion. You see, what worked for me 2 seasons ago can't work for me now. What worked for me last season might not work for me now. What is your power source? It is Monday morning. And for those of you that are blessed, you are heading into work. You are logging on into work. When you woke up this morning, when you said, oh my gosh, it's Monday already. Man, Johnny better not say nothing to me because I'm tired or whatever, and he might get these hands today. This is stuff that you're speaking over to you. And when you speak that type of stuff over to you, you tend to go into that direction because you are tapped into your own power source. You see, when you arrive to work and you've been listening to Knuck If You Buck, you walking into that office, knucking if you bucking. Like you are walking into there already on that type of time that if somebody say something to you, it's over. Let one person say something to you because I ain't got time today, but you were plugged in to negativity coming into work. That's why it's so important how you wake up in the morning. I woke up this morning 3:15, got myself ready to head on to the gym. But as I was laying there, I was just thinking like, I'm so tired. Remember what I said yesterday? But I didn't put a period on it. I said, I'm so tired. Yesterday I had to pick my son up, and he was a little late getting off work, So I made sure that I fulfilled that sentence. And then I sat there for a minute and I was just like, but this is something that I have to do. God has given me the ability to be able to get up and go to the gym. But my power source is always connected to God. So I don't look at certain situations as everybody else. You can sit down and get with a group of people and y'all can talk about how bad the economy is, what's going on in that White House, you can find, you don't even gotta look far to find things to complain about. But for me, I'm not oblivious to what's going on in the world, but my power source is God. So although things are happening, it's not that I'm immune to that, but I'm plugged into a higher source. So when you find yourself in these situations and you feeling like, oh man, this, that, and other, check your source. What are you plugged into? You see, I was upset with my son because I'm thinking it's something that he's doing to these USB cords. But in reality, it was the power source. So yes, it was charging. It was just taking so long. It was taking so long and he didn't understand and he's just frustrated. I'm frustrated because I'm thinking, but it was the power source. So now take a moment and look at your life. What is it that you're plugged into? Are you surrounded by people that all they do is complain? Are you surrounded by people that says that the world is crumbling down? Because if that's what you're plugged into, that shapes your life. I know a lot about what's going on in the world because I'm always making sure that I'm tapped in, but that's not my power source. I like to know because I like to have conversations with different type of people. So I know what's going on, but my power source is God. And a lot of people out there, they don't believe God is real. To each his own. What I'm saying is, if you find yourself feeling like, woe is me, all the bad stuff is always happening to me, what you plugged into? What is feeding your soul? You see, people that stay on the blog sites all day long, and that's their source of news, those are the ones when they're in these circles and people are having these conversations and you going by what Media Takeout said. That's not a good source. It's a blog source. It's a rumor mill. But if that's what you tapped into, what starts to happen is you start being more concerned about what's going on with Megan and Clay than you are your own life. You saying, oh, you know, he ain't no good and this, that, and other. Meanwhile, your relationship is suffering. You on social media looking at relationship goals and don't understand that that is just a moment. They have took 1,000 pictures to show you 3. And after that 3rd picture, they go their separate ways. Your power source. A lot of times you in your relationship and you might think that that relationship has run its course. Sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's because what are you plugged into? What are you plugged into? A lot of times the things that's going wrong in your life is because of you. That's simply all that it is. For some odd reason, it's always everybody else and it's never you, but it's you because of what you're plugged into, the power source. I thank God that I can find God speaking to me in the smallest things. I should have known that this bigger iPad required a bigger source, but I didn't realize that. So I was ready to crash out on my son, and it had nothing to do with him, but everything to do with me because I should have known. So think about that as you go on throughout your day this Monday. If, oh my gosh, it's a Monday, what are you plugged into? My gosh, this person better not say nothing. What are you plugged into? If your circle that you choose to do life with is a negative source, you will have a negative life. Y'all have a blessed Monday.